Did I push the button? That's the question. That software was going slow. Let's give a shout out to everybody here before we get started. Who's in the chat? Mikey Fishy, Dave's Aquariums, Rebecca Lowry, Frank Dominguez, Michael Sarr, Legion Aquatics, Rosie Posey. All these people were gifted, so we don't know if they're in the chat. But we got 5 gifted subs from Rebecca. Thank you. We appreciate that. We got to go down to our number where we were at. We were at 77, 78, 79, then back into the 80s, then 81, 82, right? I think that's 77 plus 5 is still 82. Thank you very much. Shout out to Kiwi, Mamo, Will C, Preston, Turnings Enigma, and Catherine Thomas. They got gifted memberships. Rocky is here. Zombie Drummer, Sky Dancer, Erna Pickery, and Skogs is here. What's up, Steven? Good man. I haven't seen Steven in forever. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Oh yeah. So before we get started with the show, I'm supposed to tell people to hit the like button. The little pop-up thing over here says to do that. If you want to support the channel and the crap that's going on here on this channel for the future of video production and whatnot, and flying around and doing things and Scooby-Doo and whatever. Oh, hold on. I just got a work message. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyhow, sorry. Got a work message there and then had to read it. It was written the language is a little odd, but it should be fine. I'll fix it ASAP in the morning tomorrow. So, yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can do that. You could be on Patreon. If you like, www.patreon.com/Joel_C, and then you'll find it. Or you can just go to the main page or whatever you want to do. Oh, Rosie's here. Hey, Rosie, good to see you. And Mickham, I think I said hi to everybody. I don't know if I missed somebody. It's not on purpose. It's just I'm not so good at reading. I'm not so good. I don't know how to read. I don't know how to read English or non-English. Shout out to everybody that's here, though, is what I was trying to do. I don't know. It's very uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable today, guys. I don't know. It's a very uncomfortable day here. Although we've been dealing with this for some time now, I guess I'll tell you guys a little story. So, as you guys know, Victoria and myself, we are in a long-term committed relationship. I think you guys understand that. A lot of people refer to her as my wife. Although we technically have not been married, we are in a legal partnership, as it were. Mainly because I don't like any of your churches. That's the main reason. That's probably the main reason. I don't like any of your churches. I guess the Buddhist church is pretty dope, but I don't know if they do weddings there. It's neither here nor there. That doesn't matter. I feel like I'm giving too much exposition on this story, but Vicky and I have been together a long time. We have a lovely daughter named Olivia. I think she's popped on to, at the very least, the Dr. Black show at least a few times. I have not put her in any YouTube videos that I recall, but most of you that are hanging around kind of know who she is, especially if you're a member, because I post stuff up about her on the member pages and stuff like that from time to time to give you guys updates. She'll be turning 4 here in about 2 weeks, but she's a lovely kid, and so her being a lovely kid makes you think maybe we should try to have another one before it's too late. You're like, maybe we should try to have another one. Maybe let's try that. I don't know. Let's see what's going on. So going through that process, us being geriatric parents, we're them old geriatric parents, and we got to so you got to get checked out before you're going to be doing that. So we started going through that process, getting checked out, seeing what was going on, blah de blah, a lot of nonsense regarding to that. But needless to say, doctor visits and stuff like that. Now, through those doctor visits, they found out that Victoria is pre-menopausal, right? Because, well, then I'll get into why here, I guess. Well, I don't specifically know why, but they found out she was pre-menopausal. There was something going on. Her hormone levels were weird. And so they said, hey, we gotta get in for some more testing. We gotta find out what's going on. We gotta see what's happening. Well, one of the first things that they do is they put you on hormone therapy, right? If you're in pre-menopause, because you run an insane risk of osteoporosis, right? The failure to have density in your bones. You end up with bird bones, right? You got them bird bones, and then you stand up and your legs break. You know what I'm saying? It was just about as bad as it could get, but that's what that is. So they put you on hormone therapy so you don't lose bone density. You don't want to lose the density in your bones. That's bad, right? So we were going through that process. Now, because they put you on hormone therapy, they require a lot of baseline tests. So, of course, additional mammograms and whatnot were ordered. The first mammograms that's just normal. You're just doing that. That's a thing that you do. So the first mammograms were red, and something strange was going on. And so the doctor said, well, we need to get a blood test or some additional fluids. They start collecting your fluids. Start collecting fluids from your body, and then ordered additional mammograms because of the imaging was a little bit weird. They weren't sure if they were seeing what they were seeing. So secondary mammograms, same issues, although better defined because they sort of did the less than general mammogram. This is my understanding. I'm not a doctor, guys. Just chill with me. If somebody is a doctor out there, just chill in the chat for right now. You can correct me later. But we go for the additional mammogram and some additional testing. They see the same stuff. They see problems. They see things going on. Then then it's time for biopsy. So then the biopsy goes in. Then we wait for the biopsy result, and the biopsy result comes back positive. So then now we go with more testing and more things that are going on because we now have the beginnings of a cancer diagnosis, then a couple more weeks of testing and stuff, and now as of last week, we have an official diagnosis of everything that is going on, which will still require additional testing, MRIs, other imaging, and a bunch of other stuff that is going to be going on. But Victoria has what's called DCIS. For the layman's term, you can call it breast cancer. And we shall be going through more testing. And last week, we spent 9 hours meeting with the general surgeon, the plastic surgeon, the genetic doctor guy, an additional plastic surgeon, then whatever the cancer doctors are called, oncologist, is that right? Then we met with the oncologist, and then we met with the radiation doctor. I don't know. I'm just going to stick with layman's terms here. We went with the knife doctor, then another knife doctor, then a laser doctor, then an x-ray doctor, then a genetic doctor, what would you say? How would you describe genetics as a stupid level? Regardless, with nurses, we had hour-long meetings from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and so, yeah. I don't feel very good at the moment. I don't know. I guess I should have just said that, like, I think I should have said it out loud, like, before. But haven't really talked to anybody other than my mom really about it, because Vicky didn't want anybody to know until until the point where things are going to happen. And, now we're, like, at that point. So, and I understand where she's coming from, because you don't want to be dealing with all these, like, messages from people that are, it's like people you haven't seen in 6 years, right? So, like, people just popping up out of the woodwork, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, to her. I mean, if people say they're sorry to me, I'm fine. It doesn't bother me. But I understand where she's at, like, with not really wanting to engage with that. Hold on, I got to turn on my fan. Is that high? What is that? I guess if I turn that fan on, the first setting is high, and you have to turn it to low. So, I don't know if you guys have been around long enough for my YouTube channel. I don't know if I really talked about it very much in the past, but when I started this YouTube channel, my spouse at the time was going through breast cancer, who went through full bilateral mastectomies, reconstruction. We had gone through lumpectomies twice before that. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, obviously, I could look back on that and go like, man, there's definitely some things I could have done differently. But, which is bizarre, because now I'm pretty much in the same boat again of being a sort of useless in the fight against cancer, I guess, is a good way to put it. Like, there's nothing I can do. I don't have a degree. I don't have anything. I don't have anything I bring to the table other than just being the dude that's here. And admittedly, I probably have, like, too much emotion, like, at this point, in regards to past stuff, right? Because that's all water under the bridge. There's nothing I can really do about it. So it's a very weird situation to be the spouse. Like, I understand the main part of the situation is Vicky. Like, Vicky is like the more important character. Obviously, I'm a supporting character. So, like, I guess ultimately my point is that, like, I don't like feeling useless. I'm somebody who, like, wants to do something, obviously, if there's, like, a fiery car crash, I don't necessarily pull over to, like, help, but I would help if I could. If there's something wrong, I want to fix it. I want, like, let me get out some tools and try to fix the damn thing, right? So I don't know. I just end up feeling, like, so helpless in this, and I know that I really didn't like it before. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be as engaged as I can. Today we went to our first, like, counseling appointment. So, like, we're going to be going to that, which I think is probably a big difference, like, compared to previous right? So I think that's going to be a big deal. That will be a lot different than the past. I mean, obviously in the past, I mean, I don't even know how much I was, drinking and stuff like that. I've been sober this whole time. And I think the outcome will be much different. At least I just hope. Yeah, I have to hope for that kind of crap. But, there isn't, like I was saying, there really isn't much I can do other than just be the like support guy, right? Just be the support person. It's very weird because I have to talk to Vicky about stuff that like I went through before. And I know that like I probably wasn't all that present previously. I know at the time like I felt like I was, but I don't know if I was or not. But like the best case scenario is Vicky goes into surgery. They get everything. They have to do reconstruction, all that. And then she goes through like 3 months of rehab because she's going to be out for like a month in bed kind of stuff. Like you have to get up and do that crazy shuffle thing. You got to shuffle around every hour and a half. But, she's going to be out for quite a while. And then probably 3 months she'd be all healed up again. But that's like the best case scenario. Obviously I think it kind of goes without saying what the worst case scenario is. But I have to say, like, I would much rather it be me at this point. Having gone through it before and having had that feeling before of like, why can't I just take this from you? Like, why can't I just take the burden? I do know that I definitely thought about that a lot. I know that I thought about that over and over again. That like, I do remember like just staying up all night thinking like, why can't it just be me that does it? And then they won't have to do anything. Like I could just do it. I could just be sick. I've been sick before. I could do that, and I don't even know, like, it's totally useless though, but it's real. I mean, it's a real thought that you could have, but it's pretty useless. There's nothing you can do in that vein. We got a gifted membership from Rumbust. Thank you very much. Oh, Nano Aquarium guy. The Nano Aquarium guy got a free membership. Jeremy's here. I'm sorry y'all have to deal with this. Yeah, I mean, I dealt with it before with my previous spouse, and it was incredibly young for her, and she was even younger than Vicky, and Vicky is 41, like you don't have this expectation. I mean, you have the expectation of like, I don't know, 65, 70, get cancer, and you be like a retired person, and then, you're old. No offense to anybody out there that's 70, but let's be honest, you're on the end part. I mean, you might have another 30 years. You might be my grandma, who Olivia and I got to visit this weekend. She's approaching 100, lives by herself. And we went over to visit her at her apartment. And I got to tell you, that lady, I don't know what is going on over there, but she had her lunch out. And I'll tell you this, it was like 5 grapes and saltines. That's what she wanted to have for lunch on a plate like this big. I don't understand it. But yeah, I mean, it's been pretty discouraging. I mean, this last month, like going through the testing and like not knowing what was going on. And like, I guess somewhere in my head, there's like there's like some kind of piece of relief, which is very weird. It's very weird to think like somewhere in there is relieved, because at least we have an answer and we kind of know what is going on now. Obviously, we have to wait for more MRI tests, and that they do that fluorescent stuff. They inject it into you, and then they map all of the where the blood flow goes to drain to the lymph nodes and whatnot, and then figure out they can map the lymph node system. So it's really, I mean, we still got a lot of nonsense to go through here. Admittedly, like I was starting to feel like very encouraged about, we got moved here to the new house. A lot of the stuff's coming into falling into place here at the new house. Like, this week we're gonna get those trees taken down, and that seemed like that's a big thing for us, is to have all these kind of things moving forward. Like the fish room office space is moving forward. Work is progressing. There's a lot going on, but work is progressing. Everything's kind of just moving along, and you just kind of start to, think like, yeah, man, let's get this rhythm going. Let's just keep it going, and then we'll just keep moving forward on stuff. And before you know it, like a bunch of things are going to be done, and then we're going to be moving on to whatever the next iteration of whatever's going on. But I almost just, it's a bit of a gut punch to go like, oh my God, now we're just going backwards again. Yeah. Chevy Fish says, thank you for the gifted memberships. Yeah, Rebecca and Rumbus, thank you very much, guys. Admittedly, like, I have to admit to you guys, like, the gifted membership thing is sort of like, it sort of sparked some inspiration on my end, working on a lot of the videos that I've been working on, and leading up to like getting the fish room done. Like one of the videos I'm working on right now is like how to pick like where you're going to put your fish room in an in-depth way, so that people could go through like a checklist before they start putting fish tanks somewhere in their house or whatever, so that they could have a video to kind of reference and go like, oh, here's what I got to look for, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Because, I mean, I regularly get messages from people that are like, hey, can you look at my house? Do you think I could put a big fish tank here? And it's like, I could give people like the basic advice, but like, I guess I could drive out to your house, but like, I don't want to charge people for me to drive out to their house to look at it, to be like, yeah, you need a bunch of foundation work, when it's like you could just call an engineer and have them come out and take a look. So I thought like, wow, I think this would be a helpful video for anybody who's thinking about installing a tank, or maybe upgrading, or putting in a rack of tanks or something like that. That's one of the videos we're working on. Then I'm currently working on the building the videos. We just got the stands picked up for the new, or well, not for the new tanks, for the old tanks, but for the new space. I ended up getting some metal stands built by Jason over at Livingston Fabrications, who actually is only like a 15-minute drive from my house up here, which is great, because I don't like driving really far, and I didn't have to. So that's great. And he actually filmed a bunch of the actual stand construction itself. So we're going to be working on that video. Then I'm going to also make a wood one, so that you guys can see the difference between the two, of like how they're constructed, and why you would maybe choose one direction or another. So I'm pretty excited about that stuff. And like I said, a lot of that boils down to the being able to gift memberships to like kind of spark up the channel a little bit. Yeah, but it's it's a really weird day to like talk about my spouse's medical situation. But I mean, her medical situation is my medical situation. Um, and as like Aubrey says, like, you're not useless, stay strong and keep hope. Yeah, I mean, I'll do my best to do that, right? And I'm gonna obviously do the best that I can by Vicky and Olivia. Like, obviously, that's gonna be it's gonna be rough, but I'm gonna figure it out. And probably got some help from the grandparents. I'll probably get some help from the grandparents. Taking these trees down is pretty important in regards to um, having the ability to do that. We got to free up some space on our land here so we can put an RV. So we can put up an RV for like the old grandparents to be here and potentially help out. Erna Pickery says, I'm fighting against cancer now too. Wish Vicky the best. Don't give in. You both are strong. I now watch you both feeling now. Yeah. I mean, I know that like Vicky's not the only person that has to deal with this. To have to deal with cancer, like, I mean, it's everywhere, I know she's not the only one. But it definitely feels that way, It feels that way, and I remember reading a report from Kaiser. They sent out these flyers and stuff that they want people to read about, and one of the things that they were highlighting in there is that, like, as people live older, like, everyone's eventually going to get cancer. Like, if you live forever, you'll eventually get cancer and then not end up living forever. Like, it will eventually get everybody. But yeah, that doesn't make it like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's cool. So I guess everybody should have this. I don't know, so it's a bit weird. Days Aquarium says, so sorry you're going through this. Your feelings are valid. Fuck cancer. It's true. It's just a useless thing in the world. Like, it's not useful, right? It's not useful at all. Hold on, I'm gonna reply to this. Let me reply to this real quick. Where is it? Is it in here? All right, here we go. We'll go reply. Yeah, let's just leave that. We don't need to give him too much info. Have Brandon. There we go. Send a message to Brandon. Have you guys been down to the store? Brandon is the manager down there. He's an awesome dude. That guy, knowledgeable, friendly, good dude. Good dude for sure. Good bro. I think everybody that works at the store is pretty good people. Where did my window go? Here it is. Okay. I'd lost my window. There. Chevy Fish is saying hi to everybody. Oh my God, Chevy Fish going strong, doing the doorman action. I like that. Huawei showed up and told me to start over. Okay, well I'll hold on. Let me go back to the beginning. I'll start crying again. I don't, yeah. The thing is that, like, that's the weird thing, is that, like, Vicky didn't want me to talk about it because she didn't want to have to deal with all the, like, the flood of messages from people that she hasn't heard from in 10 years or whatever, or like people from high school. They're like, oh my God, how are you? It's like, I haven't talked to you in 25 years or something. Who are you? What's the deal? Yeah. But, we're at the point now where we're having to make decisions on, well, I'm trying to help while Vicky makes decisions on the treatment that she wants to pursue, right? There. That's the best. I think that's a good way to put it. So, yeah, I'm just trying to support that, but we're getting to the point where we're going to have to make decisions. She's going to have to make decisions, and then I'm going to have to be there to nod my head, right? So, yeah, that's just what's up at this point, and I think people would figure it out. People would figure it out, and so it's just time to, like, let people know what's up. But, if I have advice for the average person, like, go to your screenings, get your, things like mammograms, prostate screening, stuff like that. You guys know what it is. You've, like, probably heard about it. Hopefully you have some kind of health care that will allow you to access. And so it's one of those things that, like, I just lost my train of thought. I got a message. My bad. The hell was I talking about? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. My God, I just spaced out reading and lost what I was talking about. Just in the middle, right in the middle there. It's pretty good. It's a good live stream. People like it. Thumbs up all around. But yeah, like I said, the DCIS is survivable. So, like the weird thing is that, like, we had even one of our doctors is like, look, this is really survivable. Like, look, we got it early because of the early mammograms and stuff, which is crazy to think. Like, you could go down a really dark path of thinking and go like, well, what if that never, what?
Are you talking about my boobies?
Yeah, I'm talking about your boobies. Do you want to come over here?
I'll come over here.
Well, I unplugged your microphone.
I know you did.
I unplugged your mic.
I know. And
You're no longer hot on the mic. Look at you.
Look at me.
You look all
disheveled.
frazzled-y.
I've been
Do you want me to
working.
hook your mic up? And then you can just roam around and be hot on the mic?
I could just lean over your shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to kind of talk about it so people would know what was going on. So if I happen to fly off the handle.
Oh, we're not doing any of that around here.
So yeah, like I was saying, that the DCIS is pretty survivable. We got pretty good estimates from the surgeons and the oncologists and stuff. But, like, you could easily go down just such, like, a weird, dark rabbit hole of, well, what if you didn't get tested early, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, when are the scheduled mammograms start? When you're, like, 50, 45?
Yeah,
Not until you're 50.
Yeah.
So your cancer would have been growing for 9 years.
Potentially.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you had
a lump.
symptoms and things happening, yeah, I mean, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, potentially, as far as the screening goes, you probably wouldn't have just, like, shown up. Should I plug in your mic? Because you're way back there.
That's up to you.
I mean, we had it plugged in earlier. I had to make a makeshift microphone because I thought we were going to do our therapy thing from your computer, and then that was not the case.
Yeah.
How do we plug in microphones? Do I know how to do that anymore? I don't think I know how to. Oh my God! See, look, this cord's really long because you can go Mick Jagger if you want, and just go out there and roam about and jump up on the speakers and stuff. You can do whatever you like.
Yeah.
Now, this time when I plug in your microphone, I'm gonna have the sound turned down, because last time I plugged in a microphone on the live stream, I had the sound turned up, and I think I did permanent hearing damage to somebody.
No, that's not good.
There we go.
Can you tell how loud I am?
Give me a check.
Check. Check. 1, 2. My brain is so many different places right now. So
See, the thing is, like, if you make
I
if
had
you make
to
no sounds, then I won't hear anything.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen.
Well, I had to admit in a meeting that I just completely checked out for a second, and I'm like, "What are we talking about?" That was at work today.
Well,
So
I was literally doing a live stream, and then I got a message while I was talking, and then I read it, and then I just lost complete. I have no idea what happened. I just was like, is my mouth still moving? Because I don't know what I'm saying.
squirrel.
Yeah, like, whoa,
Yeah.
that was weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I basically was just telling the story of, like, what has happened over the last, because it's been like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something. I mean, altogether.
Yeah.
Because of the premenopause stuff
Yeah.
that was going on. And
This has been.
yeah, because, well, you know, I was talking about it earlier. That was like, you know, we have a wonderful daughter. Our daughter is amazing. So
Oh yeah.
it makes you think, like, maybe we should have another one, and maybe the other one will be like, maybe the other one will be better, but maybe maybe the other one will be worse, and it'll make Olivia seem even that much better.
Something. They
Right.
say I mean, you never get the same kid twice.
Or maybe the
For
other one
sure.
will be so bad it'll drag them both down to average.
That sounds like a terrible idea. Well, we're not-
Or the other one is Einstein, and then
Well,
we have to
come
deal
to-
with, like, theoretical physics when they're 6, and we're like, I'm dumb. I'm dad dumb. You need to go away. You need to go live on the space station, child.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do have a cancer survivor in the chat. We
Yeah.
have a couple of them, but you know Mikey Sarr, who's Pugman,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Sarr,
Yeah.
and as he said, not sure what's going on, but cancer, no bueno. Had it in my leg 40 years ago, so they took it. I'm still holding a grudge.
Right.
He's the one-legged pug pirate man.
One-legged pug pirate
Yeah,
man.
he adopts the old derelict pugs.
That's fantastic.
He's such
I
a
love
cool
that.
dude.
I love that.
He's like such a nice guy. You'd
Yeah.
be like, I want to hang out with that guy. That guy's nice.
Yeah.
But he lives on the other side of the country, so you can't.
Yeah. I saw
Although I will say that the guy that built our fish tank stands that we got yesterday is a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And I very much underestimated his age.
Oh.
I thought he was like 25 maybe.
Yeah.
He's 37. I was like,
Oh.
I'm that far off? What's wrong with me? And he's like 6'9" or something too. He's very tall.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw somebody post something about starting exams at 40. Yeah, they do that for you if you have family history of, but I would be the first confirmed case in my whole family. So on both sides for several generations. So, but interesting to find out from the genetics counselor that actually only 5 to 10% of cancers are hereditary. So that was super interesting to find out. But otherwise it would have been later on for me. It was a fluke. It was a fluke that they were like, oh yeah, we want to get a baseline since you're starting this hormone therapy because you're in early menopause. We want to do this mammogram and know, so we can keep an eye on things. And they're like, oh no, there's something here. So
Yeah. Look, there's something going on.
yeah. Yeah,
What was,
and I have to say too, like, and I don't know how many ladies are in the chat here today, but
There's mostly ladies in my chat, which is very strange because it's like my channel is male dominated, but like
there's lots of ladies today.
it's
So
at least
I have to
50-50
say,
in my chat,
like,
which I think is healthy.
some things that have shocked me just because over the last couple of months, like going into like this perimenopausal journey and then like into this breast cancer journey, like there are so many things that we don't talk to each other about as women that like, I mean, I literally had to go like hunt down information about like what is perimenopause and what is menopause and 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 kind of discover like all the things that hormones really affect in your body, and like um, you know so I feel like this is something that we don't talk about a lot, like that what happens to us when between 40 and 50 and menopause and perimenopause and those types of things. Like women
Yeah.
just don't talk about it enough. It's like, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed to find out that they don't hand out information packets and like, how you can feel and the different symptoms that you can have and stuff. 'Cause like hormones can make you feel super unstable. They can make you depressed. Lots of women get suicidal in menopause, which is not talked about. And I just have to say, us ladies need to talk more about this stuff, I think. Just saying.
Rebecca.
Oh, yeah.
Becca says one thing. Well, I have two Beccas. There's, oh no, not Becca. That's Sarah. Sorry. Your name's backwards. Sarah.
Oh.
Sorry. Why my brain? One thing I would like to suggest, ensure they check the area under your shoulder blade for any breast cancer. It's a very easy area to miss on scans unless actively checked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fishymon says they had their prostate removed at the age of 46. And I'm 58 now, so I recommend testing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guys got to get their butts checked at 45, right?
I don't know, but somebody needs to go in for their annual preventive appointments.
Can't deal with that. I can't deal with that news right now.
Let me restate
I can't deal with that news right now. They're going to be like,
should
sir,
go in for their preventive.
Like, sir, you dad bod, get out of here. And I'll be like, oh, thanks. Surprising number of men get breast cancer as well. Beware and check. That's right. I mean, if you have anything weird, like, get it checked out. Like, I think that's just the reality. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to check because whatever, I'm not a doctor. Just quick Google search. Like, do the cancer checks. They're pretty basic. You can do most of them in the shower. And as a matter of fact, it's probably funnest to do them in the shower, right? There's soap and warm water involved. It's fine. You're having a good time. You're checking them out. You're seeing what's happening, right? But yeah, definitely do that. You're the best advocate for your healthcare. You are the best person to advocate for your healthcare. Oh, like, the one time I had a big cancer scare. So I have this like weird lump right here on my shoulder blade right here. You feel that? Have you ever felt it?
Yeah, I have.
You felt it. You're a creep.
Yeah.
You're a creep. You felt it. You're a creepy.
I did.
You're creeping. Creeping on me while I'm sleeping. Creeping while I'm sleeping.
It happens.
You be creeping while I'm sleeping and touching my shoulder blade lump.
Well,
so I have this subcutaneous lump. It's actually just what do they call it? It's like
a lipoma.
It's like a lipoma or whatever. It's just like a fat deposit or whatever that got weird. And so like I went to a doctor and I had them check it out, and then they freaked me out because they were like, "Oh my God, that's probably cancer." And then of course I went to the oncologist. The oncologist was like, "Here, I'll demonstrate on Vicky." Like, where is it? Okay, I'm like, he's like, "That's not cancer. Just get out of here." I was like, "What? Oh my God, I came all the way down here for that." He was like, "Yeah, no, that's I don't know." He's like, I'm gonna write a note to your doctor because that's ridiculous. I don't know why they would send you down there for that. But they did a blood draw after the fact to like check if there was anything weird going on. We got a buttload of gifted chats. We had one earlier gifted membership from Rumbus that I forgot to put on the list here. And then we just got 10 from Mikey Fishy.
I saw that.
10 gifted subs. Or gifted memberships. Sorry, we're not on Twitch. We're on YouTube right now. They're not subs, they're memberships. So if you did become a new member today, be aware that gives you access to our Discord and stuff. So go onto the community tab and click on the Discord. You get access I find that the Discord is the best place for us to talk about your fish tank problems and things that could be going on with your fish tank, because there's a lot more access to, Q&A. Here's some pictures. Here's some tests I did. This is what's going on. This is what it looks like. This is what's happening. The Discord is much better for that sort of stuff. And a live stream on YouTube is almost impossible, because people will come on and they go like, I have algae. How do I fix it? And it's like, what's wrong with your tank? Well, I don't know. I don't even know. I have no information to make any kind of assessment from that statement. So, although if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat as much as possible. Mikey Fishy sending love as a cancer survivor. You got this. Is Mikey Fishy a cancer survivor also?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I should go get checked. It seems like everybody is a cancer survivor, so I should probably go get checked too. What was it? Where did it go? My mom went through 3 surgeries and a mastectomy before they found her main mass of breast cancer, and that was because it was hidden under the shoulder blade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be getting a MRI.
Yeah, she's going to be getting a bunch of MRIs so they know what to target to attack. And I was talking about it earlier, the fluorescent stuff in your veins. They inject you with that fluorescent stuff.
It would be cool if it really made you fluorescent.
That'd be much cooler.
That'd be so fun at my chiropractor's office too. And then I glow like a glow stick. That'd be rad.
Just crack you like a glow stick.
So, anyway, I don't know. I thought I got a little message, and I thought, is he talking about my boobies? Maybe I should pop in.
Uh-oh. You got a message?
Yeah.
Who messaged you? Oh, I'm not going to say, but
yeah,
somebody messaged you.
Yeah, somebody that we know
that
we're close to messaged. And
I'm gonna karate chop them.
No.
For messaging.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're just sending their love and their support, so happy for it. So.
Yeah, it's really one of those things that and I don't think Vicky knows about this, but if we do hit 500 members, I have to get the Moist tattoo.
The tattoo of Moist?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I would make Vicky get one, too.
I hate to tell you this, but this whole journey
at the
thing
same time
has
I'd make her get a Moist tattoo on her boob.
No, we're not doing that.
Well,
I'm going to get a chest tattoo, though. But it's not going to be that.
It's going to say Moist.
I already have a hard time explaining the kick me sign on my back.
You do have a kick me sign on your back. Somebody asked me about that. I forget where we were. We were somewhere, like a beach somewhere or whatever. And somebody was like, is that a kick me sign on her back? And I'm like, yeah. You could just go look at it if you want instead of being a weirdo and asking me about it. Mikey had testicular cancer at 19.
Whoa, Mikey. That's young.
It's probably why he has so many kids. He's playing catch up. I think Mikey has three. I think Mikey has 3 or 4 kids. I forget how many kids. 3, I think. Yeah, 3 kids. I still have 3 kids now, and that was over 20 years ago. Which is, that's the hope, right? The hope is just okay, big pain in the ass, and then we're good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best outcome.
Yeah.
Obviously, the worst outcome is we don't want to talk about it right now.
I'm prepared for it, but,
I don't know if I believe you.
I mean, I keep trying to have conversations with you about it, about what's in place and those kinds of things. We're going to have to go through the whole DNR medical.
We have our wills. Our wills are made.
Yes.
We have life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Some, not $1 billion or something.
Mm-hmm.
We have life insurance. We have all that stuff. That stuff's all figured out. You can fill out a DNR if you want. But I feel like you're not quite. Well, I mean, you can fill one out if you want. It's up to you.
It's in my paperwork to complete before surgery.
That's a you thing. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a weird thing. Rebecca Lowry says new boobies.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna plan to replace, but because I have a 3-year-old daughter that's super in tune with what's going on in my body, with my body and everything, I decided that we are gonna replace them, just to kind of. I just want this to be a super, like, oh, mommy got sick, but now she had surgery and now she's doing better, and I don't want her, you know, to have it be a traumatic experience. I spoke to one of my girlfriends that is a survivor, a breast cancer survivor, actually had the same diagnosis that I do, and her mom went through breast cancer when she was a kid, and she remembers it being a traumatic experience for her, to watch her mom go through that, multiple surgeries, and and the changes to her body, and and I kind of tried to put myself in Olivia's shoes about what would this look like to me, and what would be the most impactful to me. Can't snuggle mom for a while, mom can't pick me up, that kind of stuff. We're having conversations about that now, but I think ultimately I just wanted her to kind of, this to be really a non-event for her. Like, mom got sick, she had a surgery, it took her a while to recover, and she's better now. I don't want her thinking like all big girls have to get surgeries and stuff when they're older.
Right.
I don't want her thinking those things. And
yeah,
kind of
and I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know that there's like some people, some gals out there that I know that got, mastectomies and full, and they got like full flat is what it's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like some of them were okay with it. And I know that I would be fine either way. Like, it wouldn't. I'm like, I still love you just fine.
Yeah,
right?
I thought about doing that and just doing tattoos.
Right.
I might.
But I think like from the people that I know that like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think body image is probably like more. I think it's a little more important than we try to let on about, right? Like, I think it matters. Like, I think it matters a fair bit,
It
and
does.
like, you're only
Yeah.
41, so I don't know, like how often you would have to be dealing with those conversations with people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I feel like it's intrusive right now when people just wander up, like total strangers wander up to me and ask me about my tattoos, let alone, right, like a surgical situation, right? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe other people don't feel that way, but I feel that way. Of just like stop asking me about my tattoos. Like, I don't know you, like random person at the grocery store. Like, why are you bothering me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't imagine that, like, anybody who has something going on like that is probably encountering that question more often than they probably would want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like just like when you combine all those little things all together, then it becomes like a big, the little tiny cuts all together, then it becomes a big cut. And then
I mean,
it's like hard to deal with, right?
maybe, but like, I don't know. Maybe I have more patience for people. Like, I mean, so I don't care if people ask me about my tattoos. I don't like it if people touch me without asking. Like, please don't touch my tattoo. Like, that's not okay.
Right.
And I think I'd be the same way, like but I'm kind of an open book. Like, if people ask me a direct question, they're going to get a direct answer about, whatever it is. They might get more of an answer than they were planning for. It's like, people ask me, "Oh, how you doing?" And I'm honest with people when when they ask me how I'm doing. I think, people ask that as a nicety, and they don't expect to get a real answer out of somebody, sometimes. But I don't think that would bother me all that much. I think, it's being comfortable in your own skin. And honestly, my first thought was like to not replace them and just to get some cool tattoos. But there is, you know, that whole like, how would Olivia deal with that kind of thing? Like, you know, what, you know, mom doesn't have boobs, and, you know, whatever other things that might lead to. But I do plan to get, I mean, it's kind of kicked off me wanting to get some other tattoos that I've wanted. Like, I really wanted to get a tattoo for Olivia, and I think I am going to finally get, like, I think I'm going to do a Sacred Heart tattoo on my chest, like right in the middle.
Oh, like on your butt? Oh.
Not on my, why would I do it on my butt?
I don't know.
No. I wouldn't do it on my butt. No, but I think I'm
going to
have
say.
one. Yeah.
Oh, like on your butt?
So, and I think that'll be for Olivia. So, and then if I, you know, there's always a small chance that I won't be able to keep, or they'll have to reconstruct like my nipples or whatever, because that's a part, you know, there could be necropsy or cancer could, you know, infect the nipple area and stuff due to it being the ductal carcinoma in situ. It could just infect the nipple. I might not be able to keep those, and I'm gonna have to think of some cool tattoos. But I don't want to tattoo on a fake one. I'm just gonna replace it with something cool instead. Like, how boring.
Like a flashlight?
No. Not like a flashlight. That would be weird.
There's that video of the guy who lost his eye to cancer, and then he replaced his eye with a flashlight.
That would be kind of funny to replace.
So, like, whenever he's in the dark, he can just turn on his flashlight eye and cruise around.
That would be kind of funny.
Vicky was like, he's a cyborg. I'm like, he doesn't have any microchips into his brain or anything. I don't know if any of that. Well, maybe he does. Maybe he actually is a cyborg, and it's actually just the cancer is a cover story.
I don't know.
You think? Maybe he's from the future.
Only Joel has the tramp stamps in the family. Do you have? I don't think you have a tramp stamp.
I don't think I do.
Should we go get matching tribal?
I don't normally look
together?
at. I don't really. I really don't look at my lower back center very often. Do I have a tramp? I don't think I have a tramp stamp back there.
No, we could go get matching tribal tattoos down there.
Get a tribal?
No.
What's it called? It's a tribal.
It's a tribal.
It's a tribal.
A tribal. Yes.
We know a person with like the biggest tribal. Pantera?
Oh, yeah.
It's like her whole body. She has one tattoo. Sacred fart on the butt.
LED in one nipple and a Leatherman in the other. I mean, that would be kind of handy.
It would be handy.
But kind of strange if you're, you know, let me grab my multi-tool and you're, yeah. I mean,
I'm saying I would opt for the lights.
Aubrey says, let's put a sacred fart on the butt.
Sacred fart.
It's a sacred fart.
Sacred fart on the butt. Chevy had to go pick their kids up. If you shave your head, you can get cool henna designs on your skull. If you have to have a double mastectomy or something, there's so many awesome tattoos people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You could get a wicked awesome tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
My close friends froze a bunch of embryos before she started breast cancer treatment.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an option on our end here.
Well, it's an option for people. Like if you do get.
Well, the big issue is that like, if we froze your embryos.
And it would be eggs, not embryos, but.
Or eggs, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, don't they? Well, yeah. Don't they fertilize them and then freeze them?
No, they just so they harvest your eggs and can freeze them, and you can opt to do that electively at a young age if you're not planning on having kids right away. But you would, I mean, that's not covered by any insurance or anything like that.
Right.
But
no, but I think like
actually,
the big issue would be a surrogate, right?
I think no, not necessarily, because I'm not sure if it would be covered by insurance. Like, say that I was 30 or 35, it might be covered as part of even the surgeon said that people have done that when they're preparing for
Oh, yeah.
breast cancer and radiation and stuff. But in our case, I would need an egg donor because my body has expended all of its reserves
Well, that's
already
what I
at
mean.
41.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's not an option because we don't have anything to harvest. And then on top of it, like, we'd have to get a surrogate.
No, I could carry the baby.
You could carry it like after menopause?
Well, I still have all of the parts and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I
don't know.
I don't know how that works because once you're post menopause, you're not menstruating to create lining for the.
Well,
yeah, I don't think you can, right?
Oh, maybe not.
I don't know. I don't think you can. Maybe.
Maybe not.
Hell,
I'd have to research it.
I know that like most people that I know that have like harvested their eggs and embryos and stuff like that was just because they were doing it at a younger age, so that when it came time to have kids, they would have their younger genetics or whatever, like the more virile young genetics, which I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the outcome is better just because you had younger genes. I don't know.
Well,
I think you have like less chance for defects and stuff like that, but I don't know if those kids are better. Are they better?
I don't think
they
kids
don't have more
better.
power and they're not smarter. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's just a question.
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually be given hormones after menopause to carry a baby. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's
That's
the
weird.
answer. I kind of was wondering about that, but in my case, like, well,
I mean, the reality I think at this point is like, it's one of two things. It's either we adopt in the future someday, or some kind of alien intervention. I don't, like aliens come down from some planet and then like harvest our DNA and then make a test tube baby and then just leave it like a stork in the living room or something, and we're like, oh my god, we have a baby. What happened? Aliens. Those bug-eyed weirdos showed up.
Yeah.
From space.
How do you make a hormone? Well,
It says don't pay her. But
God.
Dark Brandon embryos. That's right. This is the Dark Brandon. Less replication means less defects. Yeah, Zombie Drummer's right on that. Zombie Drummer said they're planning on coming to Washington State in May or April. Did you say April? Right around my birthday. So you should come by on my birthday. You should come by on my birthday, and then we'll, I don't know, talk about fish or something.
Barbecue.
Ooh, we'll barbecue. We'll brisket.
We'll smoke a brisket.
We'll make a brisket, dude.
Or
that'd be hot.
Smoke a chicken.
We'll smoke a chicken, probably.
Or both.
Glitch Aquatics is here. Hey, everyone. Been lurking and wanted to thank you for this information. Being 41, I've noticed many changes going on and did not realize it could be perimenopause. Yeah, that I think that was one of the things that, like, I don't think we didn't realize that either. We didn't even think that was like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't something that was being, I don't know, it wasn't crossing either of our minds, right?
Yeah. And
I mean, it didn't mine. I can testify to that. Like, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like the base conversations of like, well, you're getting older, but I like sort of caveman conversations more than anything. Like, you get older, I'm the brain man. Yeah. And I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know what's happening.
I was doing hormone therapy. That was the plan, but with the hormones comes high risk of cancer, and so ta-da. Not that didn't cause my cancer.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier.
That was already going.
They sent you in for the tests, like for the mammogram and stuff, because they started hormone therapy, and then they needed a baseline to make sure that there wasn't any changes down the road, right? And then also the osteoporosis stuff was a big issue to have concern about, right? And so, yeah, I think a lot of that testing, it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't have gone in for the perimenopause stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
they would have just been like, well, I don't know, eat more broccoli or whatever, right? Did you
Yeah.
get enough sleep? Did you get enough sleep? I like it when they ask that. I like it when doctors ask that. Did you get enough sleep? And you're like, I don't. No. Yeah. Yes. I don't.
I think I'm going through menopause, but that's crazy. I'm only 37 and I'm a guy. You know, men go through their own hormone changes. It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, you might need to get on to TRT and start lifting weights and looking all tomatoed out like Joe Rogan. You know what's weird? Like somebody had posted a comparison image of Joe Rogan, like not only from when he was like young, so he was like mid-20s, but then like from 10 years ago to now, and it's clear that that guy is on so many like performance enhancing drugs. He's all tomatoed out. You know those guys that are all like, they're all red, just sitting, and you're like, why are you all red, bro? It's like you're on so many like anti-menopause drugs that you're a tomato man now.
Tomato man.
And then you start doing the Kool-Aid man busting through walls, going, "Oh yeah!" Right?
Yeah. You sounded more like Macho Man Randy Savage.
He was Macho Man. Randy Savage was a tomato man.
He was.
Yes, he was full on.
100%.
He was full on tomato mode
Snap it to a Slim Jim.
with the hot dog veins.
Yeah.
He was all hot dogged out. Half hot dog, half man. And we all know what hot dogs are made out of, right? Yes, the couple I know who froze fertilized embryos, she was 36, 37, and they froze them in case they needed to try once she was through all of her chemo radiation. They don't have any kids yet. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I know that, like, that was... that was previous advice many years ago. They had thought to do that, but my previous spouse had to go through hysterectomy and amongst other things and stuff, because full genetic board there of lookout stuff, which actually was incredibly helpful because once she had gotten her genetic testing done, all of her family went and got theirs done.
Yeah.
And one of her sisters had every, like, all of the same markers that she had, which meant like some gigantic percentage of likelihood to develop breast cancer, which she already had, like, big fake boobs anyhow. So, but she went and got a bilateral mastectomy, like, electively ahead of time because of the genetic testing.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was kind of dramatic at the time, but then you think about it in terms of, like, actually it's probably less dramatic than crossing your fingers and thinking about it for the next 50 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. The BRCA markers.
Yeah. Well, we tested for those.
Yeah, we're waiting on results.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting on those results. We haven't got them yet.
Because that'll determine if we're doing one or both, as will the MRI.
Mm-hmm. Haha, he's tomatoey. That's right. Vicky, do you have extra calcium supplements, and D3 that you have to take 2 hours apart?
Well, I have, I am taking some supplements. I take a multivitamin for women 40 plus, and I do take calcium supplements, and the ones that I take, it's calcium with 2 different types of vitamin K and a D3, and then I have an additional D3 that I take. That's because we should just be taking D3 if we live in Washington State, regardless. But and then a B12 also. So, yep. But not the ones that they make you take hours apart. I just take 3 high absorption calcium supplements.
Steve has a good point here.
Hmm.
So I wanted to smoke a chicken, but I couldn't get it lit.
Man, they're hard to light, especially if they're still alive.
You need a torch. I think you need a torch with the MAP gas. You can't go propane. You need MAP gas. You need the yellow tank, that big power. That's how you get them. That's how you get them lit. But our big news this week, especially YouTube videoing, is going to be removing of the trees. I'm trying to set up a camera rig that can film a time lapse of the whole time, and I think I've got it figured out. I'm gonna jury rig it and stick it to the building, but we've got most everything ready to go for that. We had to make a makeshift fence for the dog, which I sort of helped with, and then had to take a shower, and then Vicky, I think, did it herself.
We need one stake for the last part of the fencing.
Oh dear Lord!
Because it doesn't go all the way to the wood fence. I can't staple it.
Lord, I could make a steak.
Yeah, so we need a.
What do you want, like medium rare, medium?
Well, I think we should probably make it, one that we can actually open if we're gonna, if the trailer's gonna be.
Do you not get my jokes?
No, I heard it.
Were you just deferring?
I heard your joke.
Were you deferring?
I have to go to the bathroom now.
You were deferring till after halftime. You weren't gonna get the ball. So we're gonna be doing that, and then what's really interesting about bringing the trees down, we're actually going to be milling all of the lumber. I don't know if Captain Chief Sparkle Boobs over here is going to be helping with the milling. I don't imagine as much, but I hired a helper, and me and the guy with the mill. So that's 3 people, and I don't know if we're going to need more. I'm not 100% sure, but I think 3 people is going to be enough. So all these trees that are coming down, we're actually going to mill into lumber. Our boy Marcus is going to bring the trees down because neither of us can do that. Technically, I think we could do. I don't know. Like, I think if it was a life or death situation, I think we could do that, but that's not our thing. Somebody's going to get bonked with a big branch if we do it, though, right? Someone's getting a bonk right on their dome piece. They're going to be like,
any of that.
They're like, "Hey guys,"
and
they're going to get wonked on the head by a widowmaker, and
we
would
need
screw
to
it
lose
up.
any
So
digits milling either.
we got the pros coming to do the tree felling, and then I've got a pro coming with a mill, and I'm going to assist them, and we're going to cut all that wood up. We'll probably get some firewood out of it for other people because we don't. I mean, I know we have the fireplace, but I feel like we should just use fire logs or something for ours. Or should we stack firewood?
I was going to put, decorative birch logs in there, and I don't think we really need it. Be lighting fires.
Lighting fires? Lighting effing fires?
No.
Lighting fires.
Maybe we'll put a gas insert in there. We'll see.
I want to put a gas insert in there. That's really what I want to do.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that would be a gas insert with a blower.
That'd be the hotness. You know what I'm saying?
I think that would be
hot. It'd be fiery. And no crappy wood
falling out
jargon to be dealing
with. Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be that's our big thing of the week this week. Not to mention the fish tank stands. That's gonna be good. 2 cords still. I don't know how many cords of wood we'll have from whatever's left over, but like the milling process itself leaves some decent firewood because you make that straight cut along the log to get the top of the bark off, and then roll it, and then do a cut, and then roll it, and then now you have and do a cut, and then you have 3 sides that are all pretty flat, and then you just mill from all of that material. Kevin, the guy that's coming to help, he's the guy. He knows what's up. He knows what's happening. So he was asking me, like, what lumber do we want to cut? And I think we're probably going to do mix of a lot of slabs, and probably some big beam type stuff. Hopefully we have long enough pieces. He says he can mill up to 20 feet long. Is how long his mill you can load in there. Is a 20-footer.
I don't think we'll have anything that long.
It depends on what Marcus drops, I guess.
Well, did you tell him what you want? Like, you better tell me what you want for length so we can make sure that they can try and make that happen.
12 feet would be great. Anything really longer than 12 feet is sort of unmanageable, really.
All right, I'll message him.
But 20 feet's the maximum, and it really boils down to like Marcus dropping what is comfortable for him. That's really what it's going to boil down to, because we don't want him like trying to do a big long piece and having him drop it on our neighbor's house or something, right? So it's going to be like sort of his judgment call, which is what I told him, and which I think maybe you call and talk to him and then reiterate like where exactly we want stuff to be.
Yeah, because I have to let him know where we want the wood chips and stuff, which basically is anywhere behind our fenced off area.
It's going to be a lot of wood chips, bros. I think he said there would be at least 3 loads. We're keeping 1 load. If anybody needs any wood chips, let Marcus know.
I got to do the front beds, and then, well, all right, we'll keep 1 load.
1 load, 2 loads? I don't know. I mean, you have to figure out how much of a load is. I don't know how many yards it is. If a load is only like 1 yard, we'll probably need more than one load.
Yeah.
But he said his verbiage was 3 loads. I don't know how big a load is.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know how big his trailer is.
Yeah, I'll have to touch base with him again about that. I'm gonna go so that you guys, because I gotta go pick up my medication.
Yeah, get out of here. You gotta go back to work. Get out of here. Go away.
Yep.
Say bye.
Bye now. Bye.
Say bye. Say
Bye.
I love you.
Bye. Love you. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, you don't have any sound now. Get out of here. That weak sauce out of here. Get out of here, weak sauce. Weak cheese. She goes with the handheld mic. She goes with the handheld mic because she's a baller and you're not. That's why. What? What are you laughing at? It's the truth. I gotta unplug this cord. I gotta unplug this microphone cord. Ah. What did I push? Pushed a button. I don't know. Did something. I have to spool this up, or we could be mad. Rebecca says to kiss her. Yeah, I mean, I will. I do regularly. I do all the time. I kiss her all the time. I don't need to kiss her on the live stream. I mean, it's happened before, but it's probably low priority at the moment. Makeup says, if your trees give you problem, hopefully you guys know a guy who can phone another guy who can help you out. I can make some calls if we need more guys. If we need more guys for the trees, I could call more guys, you know. But I hired a guy to come help because it's a smart way to... It's a smart way to ask somebody for help, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to pay you for the day. Come help out. It's low stress. It's hard work, but it's low stress, right? Like, we're both going to learn from Kevin. Like, what does he want? Like, what are we going to do? We'll probably get into a good rhythm. We'll be cutting up all those logs. And, yeah, it'll be great. I mean, I was trying to calculate the board feet from a lot of the trees, and, you know, they're going to be pretty extensive. Like, it's going to be quite a bit of lumber to handle a lot of the projects that we have here. So my plan is to be able to build all of the raised beds, to build the chicken coop and the chicken run, which need to be built into a permanent structure. Right now, the structure and everything's fine. It's just not a permanent structure. Does that make sense? Then I got to rebuild a pergola and a bunch of benches around the pergola and fill for the fire pit, because the previous fire pit that was there was junk, and it even got thrown away before we even moved in. So we got that all moved in, or we got all that to do. Those are going to be projects that I'll film because they're going to have to do with the fish room. So like the raised beds, I'm going to incorporate some holding tanks for water from the fish room so that I can, the wastewater from the fish room doesn't just go down the drain, and I'll actually have somewhere to collect and be used in those raised beds. We're also going to build a greenhouse. So hopefully this is enough lumber to do all that, to build the greenhouse, raised beds, the chicken coop and run, and greenhouse. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Yep. Cost is no fun. Is it a 1-day job or 2 days? So the trees coming down is 2 days. That'll be Thursday, Friday. Saturday is when the mill gets here. He's coming up early in the morning. He's doing old man early. So generally like when I get up, he's doing old man early. He's going to come up here. We got plenty of space set up. We're going to have to make sure that Marcus like drops the logs and stuff where we want them, or at the very least move them and stack them where we want them. His mill is fully mobile. He's on a huge trailer, so he'll drive it up the freeway, make sure, which is funny because I was talking with him. He's like, yeah, I got to make sure I have the permit for that day to drive up and drive back with the 2 days or whatever. And he even said, he was like, yeah, we could probably get all these logs done in a day. He says he could do quite a bit in a day. And we'll see how it goes. And he says, hey, if there's more to do, I was like, you just stay here the night. We'll get up early Sunday and keep working on it. So that's currently the standing plan. You know, and chances are if we mill lumber for a whole entire day, that is going to be a ton of wood. And if we happen to have like leftover wood, we might make the decision to go like, let's just cut all this into firewood and have it there for firewood, because it's going to get distributed to people in the area that who need firewood, you know. So pretty easy. There's reservations and stuff near here where we can contact and go like, hey, does anybody live off firewood, you know, kind of situation, and they can come grab it. The most expensive part, if people are wondering, bringing the trees down is a significant amount of money, and like I said, I think it's in the like 3,500 range or something like that. I don't remember exactly. It's pretty significant, but like I said, it's very specific work. There's, you know, our house here. There's our house, or the neighbor's house there. The neighbors have built very close to the property line, so the last thing we want to do is damage property. So I really wanted insured, licensed, bonded professionals that work day in and day out doing that to bring those trees down properly, to not damage or hurt anybody. That's my big concern. That's my huge concern, is to make sure that is handled in a way that is safe and everything goes without a hitch. So that's what I'm paying for, is peace of mind to make sure that comes down all properly. The milling is actually the more affordable part, but here's what's interesting is that I was sitting down and calculating. I was estimating the board feet we're going to get out of these trees. There's 5 trees, all pretty sizable. 2 are smaller. 1 is gigantic, and 2 are like primetime baby size. And with that, I was sort of estimating the board feet off of a board feet calculator, right, of like what to expect from trees and blah blah blah, and then also talking to Kevin, so I was going off of that, and then I kind of went and sort of estimated buying lumber, because I buy lumber pretty often, right? And I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's basically a break even. It's basically a break-even situation on us having to go buy a ton of lumber for all of the stuff that we want to construct outside. These are all things that we're for sure going to do. We even have the sketches. I don't know where the sketches are. Vicky has them somewhere, but we have the sketches drawn out of what we want, what structures we're going to build, the estimation of like how much wood we need to do that, blah, blah, blah. It's basically a break even at this point of like, it probably would have cost about $5,000 worth of lumber to do all of that stuff. Plus we'll probably drop, plus what we'll drop for firewood for people, plus the all of the mulch. So they're gonna grind everything, and then leave the and then we're gonna leave the mulch here on the property. Huawei. So why are we always yelling? We refer to as Huawei. Says, are you going to be on Blackie's stream tonight? Blackie's stream is tomorrow night. Today's Monday, and Blackie's stream is Tuesday night, my time. So Wednesday during the day if you're in Australia time. So I'll be on Blackie's stream tomorrow. Yes. Unless he has, does he have a stream tonight? Hold on, let's look. Did he like schedule a stream on the wrong day? Let's see. I don't think so. I don't think he has a stream. It should be tomorrow. Yeah. Well, I don't see it. Oh my God. YouTube says I'm live right now. It's in my top recommended videos is to watch my own YouTube channel. Oh, there's a watch later button. Maybe I should watch later. Yeah. So, yeah, I should be on Dr. Black tomorrow. That's the plan. As normal, I'm on Dr. Black 66 on Tuesdays. I did watch some of the, I did watch a couple of the new Star Wars, a new Star Wars episodes. I watched 2 of the new episodes, and I'll be honest with you guys, I wanted to watch more, but then I realized that the Marvelous Miss Maisel season 4 had come out 7 months ago, and I hadn't watched season 4. I thought I had watched season 4. I love that show. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a fantastic show on Amazon. It is very well done, and I enjoy it up and down, left and right. It is fantastic. No, it's my mistake. I don't know my days of the week. Yeah, me neither. I generally don't either. The alarms go off on my phone and they tell me what to do. Right? What do I have? A PayPal notification. Oh, I paid my Discord bill. Okay, that's fine. I was like, why do I have a PayPal situation here? So, yeah, as I was talking about with the lumber and everything, it's basically going to be a break-even scenario to take these trees down, mill them up. Obviously, there's probably a little more like energy put into this than just buying some lumber, because I'm obviously going to have to dry it a little bit. But I'm going to stack it, dry it, and I'll probably end up a lot of the lumber. I'm probably just going to work with it fairly wet, because things like the raised garden beds don't really need dry lumber for that. And I think how I'm going to construct them is actually, what do you call that? What is it? Post and tenon, right? Is that right? Am I correct on that? Yes. Yeah, post and tenon is most of what I'm going to do is a lot of the timber frame joinery type stuff with that wood. So I don't need to completely dry it because it's going to stay outside. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be muddy. And, one of the big issues with like requiring lumber to be kiln dried is to avoid bugs and potential fungus and disease and stuff like that. So because the wood is from where it is going to be, a lot of those concerns are gone. So if we stack the wood, let it dry for, a couple of months, 3 months, 4 months, anything like that, it should be dry enough to do post and beam with tenon joints and stuff like that. Joinery. It should be good to go for that exterior work. It shouldn't be that big of a problem. So yeah, that's generally that's a big part of the upside with the situation here with the cutting the trees down, because it was like, man, we're gonna be wasting all this money cutting down these damn trees. But the upside is that I get to experience like milling lumber on a much larger scale than I ever have before. Like I've been present when people were milling. I've pushed a mill to do a cut. I've done that kind of stuff, but I've never gotten to do like extensive going through the whole log and sort of plotting what we're going to cut out and all that. That's all very interesting to me, and I'm going to like that. I'm going to like that a lot, and it's going to be a fun experience. And I think that's going to be worthwhile. And the fact is that, like, we were going to have to buy a bunch of lumber, and instead of having to buy a bunch of lumber, we're actually just going to use the trees from here. So that's all kind of beneficial. Hang out with Blackie from/in Australia. Yeah. Rebecca, so on Tuesdays at like 8 p.m. our time, I go on to Dr. Black 66's channel just about every week now. It started out as, hey, do you want to come on my live stream? And then we have a good time chatting. We have a good time chatting it up. And then it was like, hey, do you want to come on again? And then it eventually worked its way into sort of a permanent fixture of my week. Is that, like, I always live stream on my channel on Mondays. That's my commitment for sure. And I do always do that. And then I, more often than not, stream on Tuesday evenings with Dr. Black. And then obviously I'm working on YouTube videos. Yeah. Let's see. How far are we in since the hard conversation? 1 hour and 36. Cool. I only have aspens here, so I'm jealous of the on-site wood. These aren't even good for firewood. Yeah, aspens suck. They're kind of pretty to look at. Am I thinking right? Aspen tree. Oh, of course we get the first results are the yeah, aspens are those goofy lookers that are like, they're like knockoff birch, right? Excuse me. Yeah, aspen's the knockoff birch, as I like to put it, and I'm realizing that right now. Yeah, aspens be tricking you into thinking you got a birch tree. Yeah, they're not even good for firewood. I guess they're good for aspirin, maybe. I think they make aspirin out of the bark. I think that might be the big thing. Oh my God, we got a plant question. I melted some crypts by adding too much Excel to a tank with a staghorn algae breakout. The algae is gone. Should I keep the melted leaves in place or cut plants down to the substrate level? Okay. You really have like two options here as far as your cryptocorini goes. You could trim them if you like, and that'll be fine. If you feel like you want them to regrow with some solid regrowth because the water conditions have changed, typically cryptocorinis are going to melt because of different water conditions, and what they end up doing is they're like retreating that nutrient back into the base to regrow, essentially, is like the easy way to describe it. The leaves melt off, the new leaves grow to the current tank conditions. You can just leave them there and use a suction tube to suck out just like the smattering of grody looking melted leaves and stuff like that. Typically, I leave them mainly because I feel like it's more work to trim all my crypts back and then net all that stuff out, and then it's just like a process of doing that. Personally, I think the only time I ever trim all the tops off the crypts is when I'm planting them into a new tank. Like if I'm taking a whole bunch of crypts from over here, man, I'm getting a catch in my throat. I don't know what's going on here. Excuse me. What is that? Anyhow, the only time I really trim them all the way down is when I'm moving them from one tank into another tank, or setting up like a new scape. That's the only times I really do that, because I normally have them outside of the tank. Trim them up, drop them in there, plant them, and then let them go. So that's really the only times that I do that. So my recommendation is just let them chill and use a tube on a little water change day to go around and vac all that up with a little vacuum tube. That's what I would do. And you get the space and the sunlight. That is true. We're going to get a lot of additional space along the side of our property over there once all those trees are out, plus the light coming in. We don't get very much for morning light because it's on the east side of the property where the sun comes up. We know all about that, right? Where the sun comes up. And so that side of the property is like really kind of deep shade, and it needs some work. It needs some work on that side of the property. So we're going to, once those trees come down, we're going to have a lot more space. And one of the things that's going to be kind of helpful, I think, is that we'll have a lot more RV parking over there. Once those trees are down and the stuff's out of the way, we'll be able to park the grandparents' RV back there. We'll park it right back in there. And then, as the title of the stream is, Fuck Cancer, Vicky's diagnosis will, once she kind of goes through treatment and recovery and stuff, like it'll be easier to have like the grandparents be able to stay here in their RV, and have a feeling of their own space. Even though we do have a guest room and stuff, they sort of start to feel like, wow, we're imposing, and it's like it doesn't matter how many times we tell them it's not an imposition. They're like, we're all in your space, And they have like white mildew. They spread all like crazy weeds, though. We were trying to dig them up, and they sprout everywhere. The stumps sprout. Chunks I cut up last year are sprouting. They're like duckweed. What are we talking about? Truckload of lilacs they keep cutting down. Salt. You need salt. Salt the earth. Aspen trees are only good for tricking you into thinking they are separate trees. Oh, that's true. I should say I have two aspens. The one that runs the 10 acres of my creek and one that is the 3 acres around my spring. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I think it's like the oldest growing tree is actually just a clump of trees. I believe. I'm getting all these notifications. All right, get that out of here. Okay. A whole bunch of notifications on my phone. What? Okay. All right, we're good. We're good, boys and girls. We're all right. We got a lot of gifted memberships today. Let's see who got gifted a membership. Lexi V, Silver Creek, Gary Chodorow. I don't know how to say your name is hard to say. Lee Heron, Austin Stewart, Jose Rene Blanco or Nelas, Vinoski Fishtoko, or was that Fishkoto? Carmo's Creations, Kathos, and Crazy Aquarium Guy. We got some gifted memberships. Look at that. It was a big day. Big day for the gifted memberships. And it's pretty generous of people, especially Actually, it's pretty generous of anybody to gift memberships. It's kind of a big deal. It's like the better super chat, right? It's like the better super chat where you like benefit other people, and not just yourself, right? I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I'm enamored by it. I just am. I just think it's cool. Yeah. Okay. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about today? Where's my notes? Where did I put my? I had a thing I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Oh, voting season is here, fools. You better go vote. You better go vote. You better go vote. If you're in the U.S., you better go vote. It's impossible to convince people to vote for one thing or another. It's a big enough task to like just try and get people to go vote, period. So I'm just going to encourage that. I'm just trying to encourage people to go vote. Learn about your it's like learn about your candidates that you're going to vote for, and just go vote. Just get it done. Do it. It's important. I'm trying to find a camera cage for the new little cameras I use, the Osmo Action 3s. I'm trying to find a camera cage for it, but nobody has released one yet, which is a bummer because it's like I don't have anything to mount my microphone to yet. Just like a bummer. You know what I mean? But one will come out sooner or later, and then I'll scoop one up. I saw one that existed, but it was for pre-order only, and they were like, we're going to start shipping them in December. And I was like, dude, it's October. I'm not paying for something that's going to ship a month and a half from now because somebody might release a better version before that even ships. You know what I mean? And I think I found somebody that wants to buy my old camera, so that will help recoup some of that and pass on a good deal to somebody who's making videos and taking pictures of people and stuff. Now what's going on here? Huh? Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. Mikey Fisher says you should 3D print one. Here's the issue. I don't know how. I don't know how. If somebody could put that together. Most of the camera cages I buy are like this one. Is a metal. It's a metal cage, right? For two reasons. Adds durability to the camera if you bonk it on stuff, but there's points all over it to mount the things that you need to mount to for filming processes. So I don't know. I don't know how well a plastic one would hold up, but it's kind of weird. They ship out these cameras with like the most basic little cage, which is like, why do I need this little cage? It's pretty much only fall protection. That's like all it is. It's just an additional layer of fall protection. It's like putting your phone in a phone case. That's basically all this is. And I'm like, I guess I'll just put that down there. It's not really doing the thing I need it to do, which is like hold on to the equipment that I have with it. Members have access to these emojis. That's true, Huawei. I just noticed emojis didn't turn up on the screen. They're on my screen. I don't know about your screen. The shrimp one's the best. This one, the shrimp one. But I haven't made any emojis in a long time, so maybe that's my bad. You know what I mean? Okay, close that. But yeah, I haven't made any of those little emojis because they're really weird to make. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a very weird process to make those little emojis, and just don't even know what it is. They don't turn up on the chat crawl on the screen. Oh, that's weird. That is very weird. They show up on mine. Yeah, that little guy's a little shrimp guy. But the emojis, you have to make them so small that it's like, how do you get the definition of and make them work? Yeah, it's very weird. Where are we at today? Where are we at today? I almost feel like we're at a good spot. Are we at a good spot to end the stream? It seems like a lot of people went away. I'm not getting all emotional and crying and stuff. Our peak viewers today was 54. I'm still maintaining my micro stream status. I'm maintaining it. I'm maintaining my tiny stream status. I guess I could get on here and be super controversial or whatever, and start yelling about other YouTubers or something like that. But it seems like a waste of time to be that dude. You know what I mean? Just seems like a waste of time. Farming for clicks. Farming for clicks seems like just such a nonsensical waste of time. I don't know. It's like a 3-week-old shrimplet. It's true. They're hard to spot. You gotta get up close. You gotta get up close. Let's see. Was there anything in the chat I missed? There was people chatting earlier, and I missed it. Glitch Aquatics had some really good points in the chat earlier that, like, the premenopause stuff just isn't even talked about. I mean, I knew it was a thing that existed, but it just didn't even, I don't know, it didn't even seem like it was real. Got a quote for, Zombie Drummer says, got a quote for 5,500 to bring down 2 trees this weekend right on the street, all up in the power lines, blocking a lane of travel, police detail, and everything. Yeah, that actually sounds just about right for the amount of chaos those trees are creating at that point, you know. And you're like I said, you're probably paying for, you're really paying for the expertise to not have like a big disaster, right? That's mostly what you're doing. Yell about Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's scary. Marjorie Taylor Greene is just an insane person. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like that person is just lost, mental case. I do not understand why anybody even listens to that person. It makes no sense to me. Yell about windmills. I love windmills, man. I think windmills are badass. I don't know. I like looking at windmills. I like getting power delivered by windmills. I like the ability to create power via wind. It's awesome. It's badass. Hey man, Eastern Washington has tons of windmills, and I'm jealous. But we don't have enough wind on the west side. The west side where I live, west side of Washington, we don't get enough wind here to put windmills up. It would not be financially even a good idea to do it because they'd just be sitting still all the time. But I love windmills. I think they're rad. The windmill analogy takes on a new meaning with hydro solar power. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the combination of hydropower with including solar generation and including wind, generation and the potential of other mechanisms, you really start to talk about, us not being dependent on outside intervention for energy production, right? You start to, if you want to talk about independence, like your own electricity generation is being independent, right? You're being an independent American to create your own electricity, right? So you're not dependent on other people to create your power for you, right? I'm all for it, you know. So it's really one of those things where I'm a big fan of that technology. I'm a big fan of us moving forward. I'm a big fan of the average person becoming more independent, but also like there's not access for every person to become energy independent. But I'm all for it, you know. MTG is in a safe place where no one runs against her position. That's why she can be as crazy as she wants. You know, I know that there's like the opinion of that. She got elected once, right? She's only been elected once. She's currently going through an election, and we'll see, right? I mean, there's a possibility that it's a one-term person. That the crazy Nazi guy in the wheelchair, what's his name? Who is that guy? Madison Cawthorn, the guy who posted about like the best day of his life was going to the Eagle's Nest, which was like Hitler's sanctuary. He was just gobsmacked with reverence for what was going on there. That guy got primaried and didn't get reelected. So we're not without precedents of like crazy people could get elected once and then whoops, we'll not elect that person again. Silver Creek Aquatics, what's up, dude? Incoming secret, the electric company is stealing from you. All of your boxes attached to your house can be modified and adjusted per William Line, a Nikolai Tesla aficionado. Yeah, I mean, the meters are metering. It's a really long conversation to get into that. Realistically, it's a bit much that there's so many conspiracies around the electric meters. Being somebody who's installed a bunch of them, there's not a whole lot of technology in them to have been stealing from you, right? So, yes, you can modify them, but it's actually illegal to do that. Do not modify your meter. Don't modify it. Don't make changes to it. You are damaging somebody else's equipment. Just be aware of that. The electric company owns the meter. So if you cut the tag off of it and take it out and do any kind of modification to it, like you're the person that's going to get in trouble. So don't recommend that behavior. Rebecca Lowry says, I really do have a turbine and a solar generator. I wouldn't be able to chat otherwise. Yeah. The wind turbine, the one that I recommend, hold on. Where is it? It's in my oh no, I have it over here. It's in my files. It's in my files, guys. Guys, it's in my files. I need to be over here, and then I need to go over here, and then I need to go here. Yeah. All right, this is the one that people ask me from time to time, what wind generator do you recommend? What solar panel setup do you recommend? Blah, 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 blah. This is the one that I recommend for people to get. But beware that if you buy stuff through Amazon links, we are an affiliate channel. We get a commission if you go buy a bunch of stuff off of Amazon. So if you want me to get commissions, buy them through our Amazon affiliate links. If you don't want me to get commissions, then don't. Okay? Federal Trade Commission says I got to tell you if I post a link. So I told you, and now you know. Tommy Boy is using speech to type. What? Who's Tommy Boy? I didn't see Tommy Boy in the chat. The thing is with the meter, it's the same magnetic technology that has been used since the beginning. That's what makes it so easy to modify. Yes, but don't modify it. It's not your equipment. That's the issue. The issue is that you don't own it. I'm not advocating for anybody modifying their meter, just to be clear, okay? But you don't own that piece of equipment. The electric company owns that piece of equipment, just to be clear, so people understand. The stuff I have doesn't sell on Amazon, sadly, or I would have. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that, like, it depends on where you go. You don't have to buy stuff on Amazon. I just try to share links that are helpful to people, but I do have to remind people that I am an affiliate, so I get a commission if you buy a bunch of stuff off of there. You can go through and buy whatever you want. You could go buy fish tank stuff. You could buy whatever. Fish food. Mickham will be lurking as long as you stream. I'm feeding fish, collecting killie eggs from mops, and doing water changes. Getting a coffee. Wow, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Staying busy. Collecting eggs and everything, which is great. I was a meter reader for the electric company a while back, and those meters are very expensive. Yes, they actually are, believe it or not. The meter bases themselves, the box where you install, is very expensive right now, too, and super hard to find. Like, it's super hard to find a lot of electrical parts right now, so I don't recommend people effing with their electrical to that degree. Chances are you could be in a whole lot of danger if you don't know what you're doing. Silver Creek is Tommy Boy. Okay. Oh, that's why, because you have a semicolon. The thing with electricity is semicolon is in there. Look at that. It's right in the chat. It's all some type of heating source that heats up water. Steam travels through a tube. Steam turns a turbine, which creates energy. Yep. Yeah, I mean, energy, the heat is, well, electric. Okay. Electricity is energy. Energy is heat, right? I don't know. I don't have half a brain for that right now. Okay. Well, we got a bunch of... wait, somebody tagged me. Thanks for the stream. All the best for your family. Okay, yeah. Lorcan Tomwing was asking, how many scapes do you have right now? I have no scapes right now. I'm building a new fish room at my place. And I have no scapes. And I was going to film a video going over to Corey's house yesterday because he's got all my plants. Alyssa has my fish and Corey has my plants. And I was going to film a video going over there to look through how well the plants are doing. And I did not have time for it. Basically put, Corey has some property, so I moved my RV over there. So it would be out of the way for the trees coming down and the tree milling. I was like, hey, can I park this at your house for a week? And he was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm like, okay. So we ran over there, and then Miss Katie, a.k.a. Dorkula, was entertaining my daughter because my daughter was like, oh, my God, we're going to go see Katie. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I want to trick or treat. I want to trick or treat, Katie. And then so she put on her Halloween costume, and then they were running amok. And we were having a good time while they were running amok. And Katie gave her like 3 bouncy balls, and those bouncy balls were going everywhere. So every which way. So actually, we were doing that, and Corey was stuck in a meeting, so I couldn't even like bring him over to like film something real quick of just like, hey, here's a tote with the plants. Here's what's up. This is what I've been doing. Word. They're growing good. They're doing that. Blah, blah, blah. So he was stuck in meetings, and Had no time for Chief. No time for me. If I'm Chief, no time for Chief. Right. Alyssa says my fish is getting fat, and your other fish are breeding like crazy. That is amazing, and thank you very much for taking care of little Mr. Fatty Fat himself, the Puffy McPufferton. I very much appreciate it. I really do. Bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. Kind of saving my ass right now. It's saving my fish, saving my ass, saving my butt. Right? I don't know. Somebody might get mad and somebody might get upset and like do whatever. What's that? It's ironic we live in one of the biggest power supplier states in the country and pay as much as we do for power. Those who are on grid, but that's another chat. We actually pay less than most everybody in the states. Rebecca. Actually, the Wenatchee pays the least amount per kilowatt out of all of the United States. The entirety of the United States. Wenatchee pays less than, charges less for electricity than everywhere, which is why there's no natural gas in Wenatchee. It's like super hard to get natural gas put into a house because the natural gas is expensive, especially in comparison to the electricity. Like at my mom and her husband's house, I was trying to figure out what was going on with their neighbor's house because, the first time I pulled up, I always do this. I look where, I look where the line is brought into the house. I look where the lines are brought into the house, right? And they had at least three 200 amp services dropping in, and I think it was three 320s. I think I'm recalling from memory here. I think they had 300 amp service, and I was like, oh my God, why is there so much power running into that building over there? Turns out they had an in-ground, heated, indoor, in-ground pool. They were running their own pool and hot tub, and we were trying to figure out, like, I went and asked them how much their electric bill was, and their electric bill was like $150 a month or something like that. And yeah, it was pretty wild. I mean, it was like, what? It's only that much to run a hot tub and a pool? Like, sweet. Oh my God. And I actually looked at my my mom and her husband's electric bill at one point, and he was like saying it was ridiculously low. I think their electric bill was $28 for 2 months during the winter. So it's like electricity is pretty cheap over there. Seattle is a little more expensive, but like I'm not sure I wonder how much their kilowatt is right now. So the kilowatt was per kilowatt was 0.139 in 2019. To the 2020, it dropped to 0.137 per kilowatt. And September 2021, it went to 0.144. So it has increased a little bit. It has increased a little bit as to where it was previously, but not anything crazy. So the average in the United States is 0.17 per kilowatt hour, and Seattle is 0.12 per kilowatt hour, just below 0.12 in September 2022 is the average. Let's see. Gas. So that's the gas one. Technical notes. Year and month. Okay, here we go. Gasoline per gallon is at United States is at $3.99 a gallon. Seattle area is at $4.94 a gallon because we have extra gas usage taxes on our gas. because we don't have state income tax. That's basically what it boils down to. But I don't want to pay state income tax. So, yeah. Let's see. Electricity per kilowatt hour is all the way up to it's 0.118 is what it's at in the Seattle area. And then, actually, I'll just show you guys here. Oh gosh, they keep changing these buttons and I still can't figure it out. So here is the table we're going off of. This is brought to you by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? So we're talking about the government, man. Government bros. Okay, here we go. So here's the average prices right here as they are currently. You can see in January. You can see here in January 2022, we were at $3.50 nationally and $4.13.8, or let's say $4.14 a gallon in the Seattle area, which they've both increased about at the same rate. They went up and then they went back down. Obviously, we don't have the newest stuff for October because October's not over yet, but it did. It went down and then it went back up and then it went back down again. So it's a little bit bonkers right now for sure. So we are paying a little bit more in gas. Electricity per kilowatt is right here. You can see the whole table. The United States in September 2021 was at 0.144 and they're up at 0.167. So that's an increase of whatever percentage. Let's see, what's the difference here? 6, 10, 23. So 0.023 increase is probably 7%, I think. I mean, we could try it. Somebody could do the math on that if they want. Seattle has stayed the same. Essentially, it's gone up 0.001 in that amount of time. So countrywide, it went from 0.147 to 0.167. So that's probably an 8% increase. And the Seattle area went from 0.117 to 0.118, which is actually a smaller increase. Natural gas has fluctuated a bit, but nothing too crazy in the Seattle area. It's actually dropped down over the last year, but if you go back to 2021, you can see that it has gone up since 2021, but at a slower rate than the rest of the country. So those are the types of things to keep in mind. Obviously, Seattle is not the cheapest area to live, so let's keep that in mind. And I'm not trying to blow smoke in people's buns. That's like, yeah, you should move here. It's affordable. Overall, it's a very expensive area to live, but as far as the pricing on certain things, we're actually kind of doing better on a lot of stuff versus other areas. People probably don't want to hear it, but that's what's up, you know. Oh, Silver Creek, you're down in Texas, right? Really depends on what area you're in as far as the power lines go. But I think Silver Creek, you're down in Texas. So you have a much less regulated power grid than we do here. Ours is regulated, and they can't just do these insane price jumps. But you guys are free, full-on capitalist, Ted Cruz endorsed crazy. And your prices change at the drop of a hat, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Joel, do you plan to film the process of rescaping your tanks when all has settled? Yes, 100%. Actually, like one of the whole main features of the new fish room would be to have an actual scape space where I can just scape all the time and rescape stuff, and just constantly be doing that and get back into the rhythm of making regular scape videos. So that's that's ultimately the plan. Hey, Janice. Hey. Yeah, I'm not pointing fingers because that's useless in the grand scheme, but it is irritating. I mean, it's not necessarily useless to point fingers at bad legislation or bad legislators. Like that, as a matter of fact, this is one of the reasons why our First Amendment exists is so that people can freely criticize and freely talk about our governance, right? Like what decisions they're making, like what's going on, and that stuff's all like really important for the discourse of like our country and like how we're going to continue to be how we're going to continue to be moving forward and whatnot. Rebecca says, "What scaping videos? How could we discuss the rest of this stuff?" I mean, the reality is, I've been working on some other YouTube channel type stuff and things, and writing a lot of scripts that will likely go up on a different channel, so we can definitely talk about politics and stuff like that on a different space. But I'm definitely going to incorporate a lot of that into the videos that I'm making over here, because I think there really is a space for that, for people to sort of critically think about what is going on day to day, while also having an interest, right? A lot of that boils down to like, how well can I craft / make a video that will pique those interests within people, right? How many tanks do you have to rescape? I have quite a few, all of them. The first two I'm going to be working on in the main space that's in the building here will be a two 120s, 220-gallon tanks. I got the stands for them yesterday, and okay, so I wanted to paint the stands initially, but then I remembered that from talking with Jason, he was like, yeah, but you could actually just temper the metal. And so I went and got the chemical for that, and then I was ready to do it, and then I couldn't fit them out the back door. So they're in my garage. I wanted to take them out to the back patio so I could do them outside, because it was really nice out yesterday. It was nice and clear, not too windy or anything crazy going on. But admittedly, Vicky, I love her to death. She put a bunch of totes in front of the doorway, and they are essentially an immovable object at the time. So I would have had to like pick the stands up, walk them all the way around to the back one by one, and then paint them, and then walk them all the way back around to the other side. So my plan was to do them today at the end of the day, so that I don't like chemically blast myself. So I'm going to put down some cardboard in the garage, and I'll just film that of doing them in there, right? So I'm going to incorporate that into the why I had steel stands made video. I don't know what it's going to be called, but that's basically what it's going to be. I'm challenging myself to escape a 7-gallon cube at the moment. I'm missing a finger, so it's difficult, but I'm doing it, and it's going to be gorgeous. Do you have like a damaged finger like my crazy thumb? Or did you just cut one off and you're having problems with the 4-finger hand? That's the question. We can't ignore the whole thing. We have to act, or else someone will act for us. That's the truth. That's the truth. There's been too many years in the United States where people have turned their back and ignored the political system, and things have just been being done for us. That's my big problem, is why earlier I was saying I just want to encourage everyone to go vote. That's all. Like, I'm not even really, I don't care who you vote for, just go vote. Just go vote and get your vote counted. It's important. Let's see. Okay, Rebecca, take one person out that you blame. Does the problem go away? Never is the answer, so I don't bother blaming one. I blame all government for it. I'm anti-government. Oh my God, we're into the libertarian debate. Silver Creek, I think we've had the libertarian argument before. Like, if you want to have a libertarian argument, like, hop on the Discord one of these days, and we'll just do a voice call. We can record it, or we can live stream it, or we could do whatever. We can go that route and have a talk about it. But like, it's so in my thought process, like, it is so archaic to be like, I'm just anti-government. It's like, why? Because it's bad. Like, okay, well, the government's the representation of the people and like what we want done, right? Like, we want things to happen. We want things to be done. We accumulate our resources so that we can accomplish those goals much better as a large group, as opposed to individual people spinning around accomplishing nothing. Like, building a giant bridge is incredibly difficult, and we just can't. We wouldn't be able to do it without like cooperative effort, right? Like, it's just not going to happen. So, when you talk about, there could be one person in the government who has come out and publicly stated on multiple occasions that they're going to obstruct anything that is happening within our government, and that is their goal. And his name is Mitch McConnell. And if you would like to go look up the clips, feel free. You could look up the clips. He's come out in public and stated on multiple occasions all he's going to do is obstruct anything from happening. And why anyone in the Republican Party would think that that is reasonable, I do not understand. I would not accept that from any Democratic leader if they came out. I wouldn't accept that from any progressive leader. I wouldn't accept that from any moderate leadership if they just said, we're just going to obstruct anything from ever happening. I'd be like, then you need to quit your job and retire and go away, because it's literally like, imagine anybody at work doing that. Imagine anybody at your job showing up and saying in public, the only thing that you're going to do is obstruct anything from getting done at work, right? And they'd be like, well, you can't work here anymore. But it's pretty wild stuff. Mark Sturlson says, Silver Creek, the first person to blame is Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch is not a good guy, that's for sure. And that whole organization is literally just rotting people's brains. Huawei, that is true, as far as I know. All right, guys. Well, let's not get rambling too hard. I got to check with my lady pants, Vicky. She was here earlier in the stream. If you guys are wondering who she is, I got to check in with her. She just texted me. So I love you guys. I hope you all have a fantastic week. I probably won't be back until Monday, although tomorrow I will be on the Dr. Black 66 stream. Replay Team 6, wherever you're at, like, go ahead and leave a chat, leave a message. Let us know that you were here. The viewer activity has come down to Mikey Fishy with 10 gifted memberships, Rebecca Lowry with 5 gifted memberships, and Rumbust himself with 1 gifted membership. Those are our sponsors of the day. Be aware, we can always gift memberships whenever. Like I said earlier, my gratitude is deep for the longtime supporters of the channel and the people that are gifting gifting memberships, because I think it's re-inspiring me to work harder and harder on this channel. Honestly, just from an honest standpoint, like, it really is affecting me that way. So I love it, and thank you very much, and thank you for everybody for just chatting and hanging out and like buttoning and all that kind of nonsense too. I appreciate that too.